Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. So, I apologize if I am a little hoarse this video. My doctor tells me I have something called the coronavirus, so I mean I should be all right though. But this is essentially a no-item run with the Bond of Master and Disciple / Hybrid Saiyan team, but we are on the Super INT stage of Super Battle Road, so part of the original 10 stages. And what you're going to find out is that a lot of these units nowadays just simply obliterate these Super Battle Roads. These are just far, they're pretty easy these days, I mean, to be quite honest. Now, this goes for long-term players. If you are new, of course, these are going to be difficult to you. But I've mentioned it in other videos, you know, some of the other no-item runs, you know, and otherwise. But if you can squeeze in a category in these monotype sort of Super Battle Roads, then you're going to be much, much better off. Because these were designed with 120% leaders in mind. So if you can get a 170% leader or 150% leader, obviously, like, you're going to be much, much better off. You know, your team is going to be getting, you know, essentially 100% extra stats, right? So it's really advantageous for you. But anyway, this team is obviously master of the Bond of Master and Disciple. I can never get that out. And then Hybrid Saiyans. So the team is completely focused around INT Future Gohan. And then who else? I suppose he's really the main attraction here. So, and then you got a couple other side pieces. So, INT Future Gohan. So he's a really, really cool unit. As I said, one of my favorite units to use. So, right off the bat, he's getting 100% attack and defense. And then combine that, if he falls below 58% HP, which is not too difficult to get, especially in something like Super Battle Road, he then gets 58% damage reduction. So on top of, you know, 100% to his defense, I mean, he just becomes, you know, one of the better tanks in the game. And that is no hyperbole. That is true story. And then the fact, so he's a support unit that can tank exceptionally well. And it just gives him this amazing utility on whatever team that he is on. So whether he's on Hybrid Saiyans, Bond of Master and Disciple, I mean, you name it, he's just going to be a really, really good asset. And then he's providing Key 1 and then 30% attack and defense to the whole rotation, provided you are a Bond of Master and Disciple category ally. So, you know, most of these units are. The only one I'm unsure of is Gotenks. You know, so I don't know if he's providing him key in attack and defense, but really that's not even why Gotenks with Ghost is here. He's really just there to stun. So anyway, guys, he is super good, and we're actually able to get his transformation right here. Although it's sort of irrelevant at this point. You know, Mercenary Tao is, you know, well, Cyborg Tao is completely stunned, so he is out of commission. But I decided to bring along Spirit Sword Trunks, and the reason for this, well, just simply so Gohan could get his transformation. I just thought it was kind of a sort of a clever little thing to do, you know, to be able to get that transformation. Man, in Spirit Sword Trunks, let me tell you, he is in desperate need of an easy A. He just is so lackluster. So on his middling attack stat, he only gets 15% attack per INT key sphere obtained, and then of course he's an orb changer. He changes STR to INT orbs. So obviously in an INT type stage, that is also, well, an INT centric team, that is also going to be, you know, really helpful. Because you don't necessarily have to get him the orbs, because you know what, he's not going to defend well anyway. And even if you get him a whole field of orbs, I mean, he's going to output, you know, he's still not going to output as much damage as you would think. So he's just in desperate need of an easy A. Now, this particular stage I was really nervous about because we have the opportunity here to be supered 5 separate times. Now, luckily, Captain Ginyu right now is out of commission, and then Gohan just put up, well over a 3 million attack stat. So I think this might one-shot him. I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, it does indeed. But there he takes a big shot. But here's the thing. That sends us below 58% HP and 59% HP for INT Kid Goku. So we're able to get the active skill here. So right now, INT Future Gohan, I do believe, is going to take a super attack from Raccoon after this active skill, of course. And so what we have here is we have just this perfect sort of arrangement in this particular situation where we've got INT Vegeta, who just recently, just literally today, got his easy A on the JP side of the game, and he becomes super good. And then we have this damage reduction and 100% defense from this INT Future Gohan. So that attack lowering from INT Vegeta combined with that just makes this an absolute joke. So anyone who attacks INT Future Gohan right now, super attack or not, is going to do nil to him. So you can see here, 16,000, and obviously, as the title would suggest, no items active there. That was one of the most impressive things I've honestly ever seen in Super Battle Road. Just being able to tank supers like that, even in the original 10 stages, is very impressive. So, again, this is a big reason of why I brought this INT Vegeta. So he's not going to put up insane attack stats yet. Now, once he gets his easy A, he'll be well over 2 million. But this ability of his to just sort of passively lower attack is just so critical in something like Super Battle Road. It was a big reason why I brought him. So as you can see here, it looks like we're not doing so hot. We have less than 20% HP, or maybe just over 20% HP. And, the thing is we have one of the best tanks in the game right now with his, again, 100% defense, 58% damage reduction. He would not take anything on a super attack. No way we were in danger of dying on this turn. So at this point right now, we're hoping to get some good healing from orbs, and then we're, kind of just stalling for the Dokkan attack. And I have been sitting on this video for quite some time. I don't recall if we get it in the 3rd or the 4th stage. Oftentimes in these Super Battle Roads, unless you're just, power blitzing through them, oftentimes you get them in the 3rd stage. But, we'll see what happens. I don't really remember at this point. So, but as you can see, so having INT Vegeta, having, this kid Goku who's able to provide crits, you can see we just have a lot of, units that are really good for Super Battle Road, and then again I've mentioned 3 times this INT Future Gohan, just cleaning up here. I do hope, I really do anticipate INT Future Gohan being on the Saiyan Day banner, at least for JP, because remember, JP has not had him on a banner since his original banner back in October. So it's definitely overdue. So we are again in this situation where, INT Future Gohan, he is in no danger of taking damage, and at this point, I'm trying to build up the Dokkan meter as quickly as possible, and we should be able to get the Dokkan attack next turn. And as long as we have INT Future Gohan on each rotation, we'll be able to tank 100, damn near 100% of the damage in the first slot. No way he's taking damage, not even on supers. This is the one that has the dupe in him, and there he is at 1.54, untransformed. Not too bad considering he's providing 30% attack and defense and then 1 key to this whole rotation. He just literally tanked a super for double digits, so it just goes to show you the power, guys. I can't really illustrate it any better than that. That was the most impressive thing in this whole run, was that super attack right there. I do remember that and just being shocked by it. So we haven't gone over all the units. There's another unit. He's just kind of, wow, we are very low on health. Here he is right here. Gotenks and Ghost. He's really just kind of one of these units that is sort of just solid on all of his teams. And he's going to be really clutch in Super Battle Road, specifically so he can heal when he gets you Rainbow Key Spheres. And then also, of course, he can stun. That's really his best ability. And then I believe he can super at 8 key. So, you know, he really doesn't need any key off the board. You don't need to prioritize getting him key unless, of course, you're trying to heal with him, which obviously, in this case, you know, past self, we might want to heal up here a little bit. I don't know what you're doing. Because Gohan, you know, he's got good defense because of his damage reduction right now, but his defensive stat is not inherently high. So we are not going to, like, get a bunch of healing from same type orbs. And then, of course, I do also want to point out this Int Kid Goku. So he just had his active skill. And that's going to be a guaranteed crit when you fall below 59% HP. But also remember that when he super attacks on that turn, assuming you don't finish off all the enemies, he's then going to have guaranteed crits throughout the remainder of that turn. So that would go for any additional attacks as well. So, you know, that original active skill, and then his super attack, and then any additional supers are going to be crits. Well, even additional normals would be as well. And he can stun. He's a very, very good unit. The only problem is you are almost never getting him Guidance of the Dragon Balls or Incredible Adventure. And it's just like, to me, it's just one of the, I'm sorry, like, I love Int Kid Goku, but he is just far and away the best on his own team, which isn't a bad thing. It's just such a shame that, like, he's not just a little bit more viable on something like Pure Saiyans, because I love him as a character, number one. And then as a unit, I mean, he's quite good as well. You just, you know, the Guidance of the Dragon Balls link, I believe that's the big attack link. It's either that or Incredible Adventure. I always mix them up. But that Guidance of the Dragon Balls link is a 20% attack link. So him not having any Super Saiyan links, it's just really going to hold him back on the attack stat if you try to run him on anything except his own team, that Dragon Ball Saga / Youth team. So on that team, I mean, the whole team is him. I mean, the Youth team has some decent units on it, to be sure. You know, it does, but the whole team is going to be centered around Int Kid Goku. And he is worthy of it. I mean, he's that good. I really do like him as a unit. He's building up ki. He's building up attack and defense every single time he comes onto the battlefield. And there was the Dokkan attack by, you know, Int Gohan, the original LR Int Gohan. You know, I guess we can just sort of transition right into him. The reason I brought him is simple. He's a massive damage dealer, and in the original 10 stages of Super Battle Road, there are essentially no enemies. Maybe just like this Boo could withstand like a 3 million attack stat, you know, with a crit. I don't think any single enemy could handle that, you know, so bringing him along, if you can get him a ton of Key Spheres, he's just going to be able to riggedy wreck anything that gets in his way. And then, of course, you know, is he on Bond of Master and Disciple? I get them confused. You have to forgive me. But, you know, potentially he's getting, you know, attack, defense, and ki from Int Future Gohan. So, it just, to me, it seemed like a no-brainer. He's still a very, very powerful unit. He's a unit that if they added one simple thing to his card, he would, again, be in contention for best unit in the game. And all it is right now he's got 18% attack for every Key Sphere obtained. All you got to do, 18% attack and defense. And he's just like all of a sudden this crazy unit because he's got those high LR stats. And then, of course, he's got the original LR Gohan mechanic where, you know, in essence, he's getting double ki for every Key Sphere obtained. So he's still really good. I mean, he just, you know, obviously lacking in the defense department. But if you get him a little bit of support on rotation, of course, he can, you know, at least somewhat tank. I mean, I can't say tank. That's probably not the right word, but he can do a little bit better, right? So, you know, really, you bring him along if you're trying to, you know, do a lot of damage to the opponents, right? That's essentially what he's good for. But once we get rid of Babidi, at a certain point, it just kind of becomes a waiting game because, again, with having an Int Future Gohan on each rotation and then getting that, you know, attack down from the Vegeta, you know, every few turns because he's just a, you know, a floating unit at this point. I just really don't see any danger in us dying. So if we were to fall below 58% HP, Boo can't do damage to us, you know, unless, of course, he spreads out his attacks like this, but, of course, he's stunned this turn, so it just really proved to be, you know, I can't really say this was like a very difficult run. I think this was like my second try. I just sort of had this epiphany. I'm like, huh, I bet I could get this done no items, you know, especially with INT Future Gohan, man, being able to tank like he tanks. Because that's a lot of times what you need in these stages. Number one, you need some good luck if you're going for no item runs. And then, of course, you need like stunners or sealers, and then you need at least like one good tank. And that's not always the recipe for success, but, you know, most of the time it'll get the job done. So here we are. Are we able to, what are we able to do here? So right now we have a transformed INT Future Gohan, and this one actually has dupes, so he can actually perform a crit. And he's still going to tank considerably well. He's got that 58% damage reduction, along with, he's getting, let's see, he's getting 30% attack and defense, and 1 key per Bond of Master and Disciple category ally attacking in the same turn. So right now, he's getting 190% attack, 90% defense, and 58% damage reduction. Again, you know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to just, like, you know, jerk him off every single video, but, like, he is really, really good, and I think I mentioned it earlier, but I really hope, I sincerely hope he is on at least the JP banner, and then, you know, hopefully after that they can bring him back soon on Global, because I want dupes in him bad. I want him to be able to crit. If you can get this dude to be able to crit, I mean, the amount of damage he can do is just, I can't quite say it's unparalleled. It's not the right word, but boy, it's high. It's very high. So here's the other transformation, but as you can see, it's essentially all for naught, right? So there's no way we're losing at this point. You know, we're going to attack with INT Future Gohan, and he's going to get us the W. We could have attacked with any single one of these. Probably not a good idea to lead off with Gotenks and Ghost. But, you know, again, he's got his purpose on this team. So there he is, tanking for 2K on normals, and right now we're about to get the W. Again, I can't say that this was a very challenging run, because in the end, God, it was just so easy. It was so easy. I barely had to try. And that was that. You're gonna find that, you know, once you get your units awakened and all at SA10, and you get a few dupes in them, Super Battle Road's gonna be a breeze for you guys. It just takes time, and you just need the units. But that's the video, guys. No items used. Slap a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you're new and becoming a part of the Flex family. I'm bringing you guys content every single day, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Later.